Hi, Kiara. It's so good to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming in today. I know you have some concerns you want to talk about.
Yes, I'd like to talk about my endometriosis. I would love to learn more about endometriosis and how I can learn my triggers and how to just treat my general pain.
So, how long have you been struggling with endometriosis?
Probably about 14 or 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Since you were in middle school and you started having a lot of pain?
Yeah, when I was about 11, I started to get really debilitating cramps, and everyone kind of just passed it off as that. But for me, wasn't just happening associated to my period. It was kind of a daily problem.
Wow. So, even as young as 13 and 14, you're having such bad cramps. Did it prevent you from going to school?
All the time, or I would go to school and get sent home instantly because I just was not functional. I could not focus on anything but my pain.
Oh my gosh. And did you find that you were having other symptoms like nausea and vomiting?
Yeah, I struggled with that a lot, month after month, and I tried to attribute it to the foods I was eating, but I live a pretty healthy lifestyle, and I couldn't really find anything that was triggering it. So I'd say nausea was definitely a huge problem with me, and throwing up a lot, which was not fun. At the time, I also suffered from migraines heavily, which I now know were hormonal migraines. And that was kind of what they were attributing my nausea and my throwing up to. So I was constantly treated for other problems that weren't like the root of my pain.
Wow. So do you still get migraines now?
Every now and then. Before it was like daily, and I needed to be locked away in a dark room and could not do anything else. But now I've learned my triggers, and I've learned how to prevent them from getting super bad.
Wow. And so now you want to take that same idea, learning how to prevent triggers for your endometriosis.
Yeah.
So you told me earlier that you've had surgery for endometriosis. I'd love to hear more about that because you've been through a lot with this.
Yeah, I have. It's been a long period of time of pain, but I had surgery last year, and I would say I'm still recovering a bit from it. And my surgeon actually said that she couldn't find any endometriosis, but in going to a specialist, I found that it presents differently on my body than it does on most women, and so she just wasn't looking for the right things. So it was definitely a trying period for me.
So we talked about this earlier, and you said that your first surgeon was looking for black and blue endometriosis implants.
Yes.
And then the specialist found that they were actually white implants for you.
Yes.
And that's what I see also. There's a lot of information out there that says that endometriosis doesn't present in the same way for all women. And sometimes we're looking for these little black and blue, we call them little spots, right? But for a lot of women, it's white, and those white spots are actually adhesions or scar tissue. You're on the pill now, but you're still having some pain.
Yes.
Maybe I can help you with that. Even though you're on the pill continuously, a lot of women with endometriosis still have pain throughout the month. And there's a new medication that's just been approved by the FDA. It's called Orlissa, and oftentimes we use that with patients who are doing pretty well on the pill, but they're still having pain. I have a couple on it, so Orlissa will help decrease the pain, but the side effect is it gives you a lot of hot flashes and night sweats.
Okay.
Do you use any over-the-counter pain relievers like Advil or Aleve?
I did when I was young, but I found that it wasn't really strong enough to really help with my pain, so I've learned to manage it naturally as opposed to taking.
So how do you manage it naturally?
I use different things like heating pads, or I'll drink tea to kind of calm my nerves, whether I'll like find like an herb that's like calming, and aside from that, those are pretty much my only natural remedies that I've come up with so far, but hopefully I can find more down the road.
Kiara, you're doing exactly the right thing. So using a heating pad really helps, and then the herbal teas will help, and there are some that work better than others. So when you're looking for an herbal tea, look for black or blue cohosh, because that really calms the uterus. If a woman was going to use an over-the-counter remedy like Advil or Aleve, I recommend that they take 2 every 12 hours with food, and Aleve, because it's naproxen sodium, actually works better than the ibuprofens or the Advils. So, well, I'm glad that you're on the birth control pill. Do you know how that works for endometriosis?
No. Would you care to explain?
I would. I'd be happy to tell you. So what the birth control pill does is it quiets everything. And what it quiets is the ovary. So it tells the ovary, go to sleep. Don't make any eggs. But also the ovary then will reduce the amount of estrogen and progesterone it makes. And what happens is it feeds back to all those little endometriomas there. And instead of them growing every month and then regressing and growing and regressing, causing scar tissue, it minimizes the amount of growth of the endometrioma. So it kind of suppresses that growth so you don't get more and more over time. So it's a good idea if you have endometriosis to use the birth control pill because you won't get more and more endometriomas growing.
That makes sense.
Well, I hope this has helped you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for talking to me about this.